What's going on, everybody? How you doing? I am back with another episode telling you about another beautiful two-wheel creation. So stick around to the end and check it out. How's it going today, folks? My name is Peoplz, and I want to welcome you back to my motorcycle channel. But if this is your first time here, you like motorcycles, and you love motorcycles almost as much as my subscribers, make sure you hit that subscribe button right there. Because all year long, we're going to talk about different motorcycle manufacturers, different motorcycle models, and even a few outside the norm. Not to mention that, we're going to be taking trips to some rallies, to some roundups, or just generally getting out there, riding our bikes and having a good time, and maybe giving you a little bit of a glimpse of what a biker's lifestyle is like. So if that interests you, if that's the kind of content you like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. But without further ado, I'm going to tell you about a motorcycle today that has only been around for a relatively short time, only a year and a half, 2 years, but has quickly become one of Harley Davidson's most popular motorcycles and one of their best sellers. These are the Sportster 1250S. Okay, now that you've got a good look at these beautiful motorcycles, let me tell you all about them. And the first place we're going to start is where you start with every Harley Davidson, this beautiful state-of-the-art motor right here. So come with me and let me tell you all about it, because this engine utilizes a lot of state-of-the-art technology for Harley Davidson. So let's check it out. This is Harley Davidson's state-of-the-art 1250cc Revolution Max engine, or 76.4 cubic inches if you want to be technical about it. It's a completely water jacketed, water cooled motor, which is a big departure from the normal Harley engines, but it also goes a step further. It utilizes something that is pretty revolutionary for Harley Davidson: variable valve technology. It's allowing this motor to produce a whopping 121 horsepower and 94 pound-feet of torque. And when it's equipped with a 6-speed transmission, it's letting this lightweight motorcycle that's only 502 pounds go from 0 to 60 in a sub 4-second range. And on top of that, this motorcycle is electronically governed at 120 miles per hour. Now, the engine is not the only thing that is such a radical departure from the traditional way Harley Davidson has of making motorcycles. It's actually the chassis and the frame too. Now, this bike utilizes a tubular sectioned frame design that uses the engine as an essential chassis component. And what that allows this bike to be is, like I said, very light at only 502 pounds, but it also makes the chassis very solid and very stable, in particular at high speeds, and allows Harley Davidson to precisely tune the suspension. Now, as far as suspension, this motorcycle uses a pair of 43 millimeter inverted, fully adjustable, the rebound, the dampening, and the compression Showa forks. And in the rear, it has an adjustable Showa monoshock that has a piggyback reservoir. Now, so far in this video, I've told you a lot about this motorcycle. You've seen how beautiful it is. You've seen how well built it's designed and constructed and built. I've told you all about the power that this engine produces and still getting 49 miles to the gallon. I've told you all about the chassis and how well it handles and how good it rides. But let's just say one day you decide to challenge that 120 mile per hour governed top speed. Now you gotta stop it. Let me tell you about that. Now, when it comes to slowing this motorcycle down, Harley Davidson did not spare any expense, and so they turned to the Brembo brake company. Now, this bike utilizes their master cylinders in the front and rear, but on the business end, as you can see, they utilize a radial-mounted 4-piston brake caliper, and that's mated to this huge 320 millimeter brake rotor. And with this beefy 160/75 R17 tire, it's a lot of stopping power in the front. And in the rear of this motorcycle, it utilizes a dual piston Brembo brake caliper mated to this 260 millimeter brake rotor. And it's using that 180/70 R16 big and beefy tire to get all that stopping power to the ground. And to tie it all together, the Sportster S has a very advanced anti-lock braking system and traction control for added safety. So now we come up to my favorite part in these videos, where I give my unvarnished and probably unwanted opinion about what I think of this motorcycle. But I don't want to be the only one here. In the comment section, what do you think of the bike? I'm going to ask you to please be respectful, but give me your honest opinion of what do you think of this motorcycle after you've ridden it. And keep this in mind, Harley Davidson is probably watching, and they do listen to their customers. So, like I said, be honest, but be respectful. Now, as far as, like I said, my unvarnished, unsponsored, unpaid opinion, I'm going to tell you the bikes are great. They're not so much a starter bike because, in my opinion, as being an experienced motorcyclist, they're too powerful for you beginning riders. I mean, you got 500 pounds, 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds, and 121 horsepower. This bike might be a little too much to handle for someone who has little to no experience. But for a modest or intermediate rider, it's going to be perfect. I mean, hell, I'm going to be honest. I'm an experienced rider of 28 years now, and I thought this bike was great. If I had room in my garage, I would actually buy one. The bike is just so much power, and it handles so amazingly. I mean, it's a great commuter bike back and forth to work or running errands or run to the store. But where this bike really shines is the back roads. It handles like you would not believe that. You actually have to pull over, get off the bike, look at it and say, this is a Harley? I mean, I'll put it up next to any of the big four Japanese with their naked bikes or their mild sport bikes. Not their super sport bikes, but their mild sport bikes. I think it is a great transition from someone who's coming from those brands, looking to get into the Harley Davidson with all its prestige. They're gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna actually love this bike. And I think at its price point, it has a lot to offer. It gives you things like advanced traction control and anti-lock braking. That's something you don't see in its price point. It's also going to give you a lot of smart rider features like I said, the traction control, the quartering traction control, the quartering ABS braking control. It's going to give you cruise control. It's going to give you 3 rider mode functions. You've got normal street, you've got sport, and you've got rain, plus an additional fully programmable mode to your preferences. That's stuff that you don't really see on somewhat of an entry-level bike, and definitely not anything at this price point. So, like I said, it gives you a lot of bang for the buck, and it's still, like I said, gonna give you 49 miles to the gallon, and in this day and age with gas the way it is, it's kind of important. So, but for the most part, let's get down to the basics. This bike is just fun to ride. It is an absolute blast, and like I said, you're gonna love it. So what I'm recommending, that if you are interested, don't take my word for it. Go to a Harley dealership, take one for a test ride. I'm going to leave a link in the description to Harley Davidson's website. You go to locating section, find the closest dealership to you, and as long as you have a valid motorcycle endorsement, take one for a spin. That way you'll see for yourself. And that'll also help you in the comment section when you tell us what you really think about it. So don't take my advice. Go out and check it out yourself. But I've done enough talking about it. So until the next video, let's ride again soon.